If I told you I was afraid to talk about this series and make a video on it, would you believe me? Like, I know it's a joke I make that I curse manga when I make a first impressions on it if it's new in Weekly Shonen Jump, but I really, really want this manga right here to succeed, and I'm so worried that in 10 weeks from now, or less, I'm going to get to see that notification that pops out when the leaks come out, usually for chapters, that says Ruri Dragon is being cancelled. It is ending in so-and-so next week, and a new series will replace it. I fear that. I fear that announcement, because I just finished this, as you can see on your screen, Ruri Dragon. I finished reading these 58 pages, and it's a good manga. Like, legitimately, this is a good manga. Now, do I think that this is the best manga I've ever seen in Weekly Shonen Jump? Do I think that this is going to be the next big thing? I don't think so. But I do think that in reality that this is a really nice series, and it is a nice breath of fresh air, no pun intended, especially with the concept of the story. I just think that this has a lot of potential. I could see it, and I think that it could be a really fun, interactive story that can breathe something new into Weekly Shonen Jump. And I think we need more stuff like this. We don't need just traditional battle shonen or sports series. Something that's more grounded like Ruri Dragon can be very, very fun. And so I do hope that this series gets popular and it doesn't get axed. I am fearful to make this video because, like I said, I know it's a joke that I make about me cursing a manga, but in a little bit, I feel like it's true. Like, a little bit I do, because every time I talk about something I'm really liking, like Ayashimon, or, Red Hood, etc., or Phantom Seer, those series just get straight up axed later on, in 10 to 15 chapters later, and I don't want that. So, before I go any further, watch this video or read this series at your own risk, because obviously, this is the first chapter. It just came out this past weekend, and so the life or future of this story is up in the air. It's, up to Weekly Shonen Jump holding the axe over the series to determine if it is going to live or die, and in reality, our opinion in the West, if we don't live in Japan, our opinion doesn't really matter. No matter how popular this manga is, even if, let's say, I doubt it, like, let's just say, like, oh man, like 50 plus people or 50,000 people watch this video and somehow it spawns a community that, just gets crazy or whatever, even if this series hypothetically got popular and I bring a lot of attention to this story, I doubt it will do much to stop the opinion of Shonen Jump from changing. Like, for instance, if Shonen Jump in Japan doesn't like the series, it's gonna get axed. So, I just want to say, read this series at your own risk. Even though I'm saying it's good, and it is good first chapter, do remember that. Keep that in your mind while you're, obviously, potentially reading this. So, let's talk about it. Ruri Dragon, what is it? What's it about? Obviously a dragon, as you can see on the screen, and is it good? Well, let's talk about who wrote this. So, apparently, as you can see on the bottom right here, my camera might be blocking it, but it's written by Masaoki Shindou. So, as you can see on the top here, I have his name pulled up here on the top. So, as you can see, this is Shindou, who has written this series of Ruri Dragon, and what they have written in the past, etc. And as you can see here on the screen, you have Shindou-sensei hasn't actually written a lot at all. Has not written much manga whatsoever. Actually, just one-shots. As you can see here, a one-shot, a one-shot, a one-shot, and then you have the manga, which is Ruri Dragon I'm talking about, one-shot, and then the Ruri Dragon one-shot. So, nothing but one-shots. And so this, technically, Ruri Dragon is the first debuting work from this mangaka that has ever come out. This is the first time this author is truly writing a series that is being serialized in a weekly manner in Weekly Shonen Jump. So this is a big moment for this author, obviously, because, for one, we know how harsh Weekly Shonen Jump can be. They can be incredibly harsh. Like, we have seen just dreams die, like Red Hood manga, let me just show you, oh, I can't, it's so sad, it's so sad, it's the first thing that popped up, but, Like, Red Hood was so good. Like, I absolutely adored this series. It is so good. I love the art style. Yes, it looked very much like, My Hero Academia. It was good. It was a really good story. And then we also had, Ayashimon. Ayashimon was really good as well. I also like the designs, I like the characters and all that. And then, Phantom Seer was good. These mangaka, obviously, when they write these works, like, when they write this stuff that we read, and we read on a weekly basis, they're putting their heart and soul into this. Like, you gotta remember, these are human beings that, write this. So when they're writing their manga, they're putting everything on the line to try to make their series very popular. They might have to cut corners, they might have to make the most cliche thing to really gather an audience to make something very popular. And obviously, since this is the first time that this Author Shindou is making a work in Weekly Shonen Jump like this is a big moment. Because obviously, for one, this might determine if Shindou will be able to keep up with a weekly release format with deadlines, etc., and will Shindou be able to produce a work that is going to gather an audience? Because will this, writer be a one-hit wonder? Will this writer make something that just right off the gate blows everyone away? Will this author fail with this series, Ruri Dragon, and write something else that will come back with a vengeance and be something incredible? Or will this author just give up after this work if it does fail and never write anything again? There's so many possibilities, obviously, out there. And so, this is a big deal. That Ruri Dragon, this is the first time that this author has written something. So I want to make sure everybody is on the same page when you look at this series, that this is a fresh offer, a very young offer, because I want to point this out here. So, if you look closely, this rookie mangaka debuted in Jump Cross at the age of 17. Now, I'm going to assume that was probably this one-shot down here, one of these one-shots, Skyclaw or Twin Peach, in 2016. So, if we're calculating the age of this mangaka right now, if I'm not off by any means, this mangaka should be around, 23 years old, so, give or take, maybe, 23, 24. So, the writer is very young, a very young author in Weekly Shonen Jump, and has a huge future ahead of them if this series does very well. I am curious to see how it's going to go. So, with the groundwork out of the way, let's talk about it. Ruri Dragon, what is it? Well, as you can see from just the brief looks, I'm just going to scroll through some of the pages here. It's about a girl that's a dragon, or a half dragon, half human, and obviously that concept isn't necessarily unique. Like, there's a lot of stories out there, probably, if you go searching hard enough for manga or light novels, whatever, you'll find stories about a half, human, half dragon that, has horns, has maybe a tail, has a fire breath, etc. You can find that. It's definitely not something that is brand new, that is explosive and will blow you away. However, the concept of this series is very fun. For instance, it's slice of life. You have the main female character, as you can see here. She is someone that, wakes up one day, like here, I'll go to the page, I'll go back. She literally wakes up in the morning with horns. She's like, what's going on? She literally has horns on her head. She confronts her mom, and it's like, what's going on? Mom's like, oh yeah, your father's a dragon, you're half dragon, half human, and, now she finds this out at a young age, going fresh into high school, so she has to deal with the hijinks of dealing with, high school and being basically half dragon. It's a nice slice of life setting. It might not be something entirely unique, but it is refreshing, especially if we look at what's in the magazine. Like most of the stuff in the magazine right now, I think, Weekly Shonen Jump current lineup, let's see here. What is the current lineup? Let's see. Do we have an actual, okay, so I think this might be most of the lineup. No, this is numbers, let's see, serialization titles. Okay, so we have One Piece, obviously, Hunter x Hunter's there, which will be returning soon, My Hero Academia, Black Clover, Jujutsu, Mission, Yozakura Family, Undead Unluck, Moshly, Me and Roboco, good series, recommend it, go, read that series. Just getting an anime. Burn the Witch, technically, I mean, it's a weird release. High School Family, I think this is some old stuff, actually, never mind, I think this... Wait, is this actually still coming out? I don't even know any... What is this? I don't even know what that is. I legitimately have no idea what that is. Anyways, we have, like, PPPPP, we have Doron, Akane, Earthchild, Super Smartphone, Ruri Dragon, which just came, Aliens Area, which I need to, actually read myself, Witch Watch, Blue Box, etc. The lineup, if you look at this lineup, okay, just look at majority of the lineup, obviously, it's heavily dominated by Battle Shonen. Like, I mean, One Piece, Hunter x Hunter, My Hero. Well, Hunter x Hunter's coming back, but, you know, there could be an argument said that Hunter x Hunter isn't just a battle shonen either. But, you know, let's be simplistic, okay? Battle shonen. There's a vast majority of the stuff in this magazine is battle-orientated manga. And stuff that isn't can stand out. Like, I mean, Moshli is still, it has some fights in it, and it stands out, but it's still theoretically a battle shonen. Mission Yozakura is different as well, but it still has some action in it as well. Blue Box is different. It has slice of life, a little bit of romance, and it's a very distinct manga, at least from what I've read and I've been keeping up with. It's different in the magazine. And definitely if you look at everything else that's here. And so, when you look at that, there is a niche spot that is opened up, obviously. There is a spot for Ruri Dragon. A nice slice-of-life manga with fantasy elements. A really good slice of life with fantasy. And not something that you might evolve into a battle shonen, but just a fantasy series that is slice of life. That sounds really fun. It sounds different, at least what's currently in the magazine. So, when I look at this, it has potential. I think that it really can be something good that people will love to read on a weekly basis. Because I had a lot of fun reading this first chapter. The first 58 pages was absolutely fun. I had so much fun reading this. Now, there's a few things to talk about. I feel like this first chapter isn't perfect. And I do want to line out a few things about this. For one, her dragon horns and people's perception of that. So, let's just go back to this. So, let's go back to the beginning, and let's just look at the mom. So, the mom starts talking about, her horns and all that, how she has horns, and, she's half human, half, dragon, and everything about this, it feels like the way the mother is so relaxed about the situation, it feels very off-putting, because there isn't a huge reaction. I don't expect, melodramatic reaction, but just the overall reaction from the mother to also, the main female character's reaction to everything, it's like, you feel like there would be more going on there. She would react in a very different way. But she doesn't. She carries on with her day, and she goes to school. Maybe this can be set up for something else in the future, maybe what a dragon ability can do, etc. Who really knows? But I feel like the beginning sequence is very weird, at least with the way it comes off, with how people react to Ruri's dragon horns. Let's look at this. Let's go forward. So, if we go forward into the chapter, you'll see, people's reactions about the horns. Care to explain what the horns is? And I think people's reactions is that she's wearing a head accessory. She's just putting on an accessory for horns or whatever, since technically this is kind of like her, first real time going into high school for a while now. Or, I believe this is her first day. I could be wrong. Maybe this might not be her first day. I might be man, I feel like I'm having a stroke. Misremembering. There we go. I don't know why it was so hard for me to say. But, most likely, though, people are looking at her horns as a way of, she's just doing a fashion statement, which makes sense, okay, but I feel like there would be more to the reaction, especially with her breathing literal fire in the middle of the chapter. So, when I see that, I'm just like, there has to be something going on here. There's more here with people's reactions. Now, the mother does clarify towards the end here, though, that, she was worried and stressing about it, and which I am happy that was added on, but still doesn't explain why a lot of people in her class wasn't talking about just the whole dragon aspect. I feel like there would just be so much more there. So that's the only thing that's a little bit off to me with the first chapter, but besides that, artwork looks really good. I like the dragon features of the character. I like the designs of the characters. I like the setting. It's a fun one. It's a fun manga. It legitimately is a fun manga, and I think that, a lot of people can have a lot of fun reading this. If this does stick around, I can see this turning into something very, very good. I mean, if it wants to go down the romance route, I'm curious to see how a romance route would go with someone that's a half-dragon. I would love to see maybe more about the fantasy world. If there's a dragon, that means that there's probably other things that's out there in this world. So, yeah, the potential is there. So, is Ruri Dragon worth reading? Like I said, yes, but remember, Shonen Jump has the axe, and regardless of how we in the West feel about this series, the Japanese readers are what matter the most. And it's the truth. It's the harsh reality of it. And if they don't like it, series is getting axed. So until we really see some numbers and if this gets a lot of color pages, etc., we won't really know if this is going to stick around or not. But at least for now, I think that maybe the reaction to this will be good. If anyone has actually Japan's thoughts on Ruri Dragon, please let me know. I would like to know more about it. But okay, I'll leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I love you all. Be safe, stay healthy. Leave me a like if you enjoyed the video. And with that, Chibi out.